Welcome to part 2. Here he is, the beautiful boy. Welcome to Obie as a teenager, the things you need to know when you own a teenage Catahoula. There's been a lot of things that we've done since he was a puppy. He is 3 right now. This is him. His weight has stabilized at around 57 to 60 pounds. And he is sterilized and he has had a castration. And that's the first thing you need to know. So there's a lot of options that dog owners have now with regards to sterilizing their pets. We opted for a vasectomy with Obie. We weren't sure that we wanted to do the full castration. So a vasectomy is an alternative. And what it does, it keeps a lot of the hormones intact, which can prevent, according to a lot of studies, issues later down the line. For him, hip dysplasia is a common thing as a working dog. So that's been shown to help, according to some studies. Some other studies say that obesity, urinary incontinence, various cancers, and immune-mediated diseases, as well as cognitive and behavioral problems, are more common in spayed and neutered dogs. This is likely because the natural hormone feedback mechanism becomes unregulated. So when you cut off their hormones, things get out of balance, right? Naturally, that makes sense for dogs, for animals, but for humans too. There's emerging research that indicates that there is a high level of what's called a luteinizing hormone that occurs when we do a spay or neuter. And when that continues to increase, it influences the development of a variety of health disorders. I'm going to link to that study down below. You can do your research. It's a totally personal choice. Obviously, breed matters, age matters. When you do these kinds of procedures, that's actually shown to be more influential. Anyways, it's been an interesting thing to research. There's a ton of studies with research papers. Most of them, however, are researching on labs or on German Shepherds. So nothing specific to a Catahoula, nor even hounds for that matter. So just know that as you go into it. So we did a vasectomy for Obie, and he was 9 months old when that happened, which is on the later side. Most people do it pretty early on. We wanted to wait. He did continue to secrete hormone. So like when we would go to the dog park, all the dogs went towards him and it freaked him out. So he got aggressive, and, you know, we thought it would be less aggressive, but he ended up becoming a target still. He's an alpha, so he didn't like that very much. Anyways, the other thing about doing a vasectomy that's really hard as a pet owner is that you can't necessarily bring them to like a doggy daycare. That's not, they want spayed or neutered animals only, legal, primarily liability reasons. So at about a year later, we did a full neutering for him. And that was because he was still very aggressive. He was an older dog, so we'd have less issues if we did a neutering. And I personally got to the point where it was just frustrating to not be able to bring him into different groups of dogs, whether it be a puppy daycare or not. And it was just too much anxiety, honestly, on my part and his own health. So he got a full neutering at a year and 9 months old. Again, that's later than most people do. But at that point, he was basically out of his teen years and could handle it a bit better. So that was a choice that we made as a family for this guy. It was emotional. It was really hard. Honestly, his behavior did change after the neutering. That was the most change I saw. He became a lot more calm, a lot more obedient, which is really weird. He's an alpha, so that is still in there, but he was just easier to be around, both other dogs and for us as his pet owners. The next thing about a Catahoula teenager is all this naughty behavior still continues. And now he knows better though. So what does that mean? He still runs around and tries to eat socks. And the minute you tell him leave it, he stops. He knows he's being naughty and he wants to get attention. I was on a call one day and he saw that I had to go speak. So like I was listening, I'm not talking, and then it was my turn to speak. So he used that opportunity to grab my sandal and chew it up to bits and pieces because I couldn't reprimand him. So he's very smart. You already know that, I'm sure, about your dog. He's better with commands in general. He's wearing his e-collar right now because it changes his behavior. This e-collar is great. It has about like 7 or 8 different settings. One is just sound. And so when I put this on, he behaves better. I don't even have to buzz him. He just behaves better. It's kind of hilarious. So he wears it all the time. But then when we're out on trails and he's off leash, that's the electronic leash I can call him back with. So that's fantastic. Such a great tool. Number 3, he is a confident young pup. He's always been that way. He is an alpha temperament, no question about it. But sometimes he's learned to not be the alpha as he gets older. For example, we were walking one day in the park and he encountered this gorgeous Great Dane, much bigger than him, much taller than him. He approached her. They were off leash, so it was an easy approach. And she looked at him and he started to play with her. And she was like, okay, let's play. So they start running and chasing each other. And then he tries to jump over her, but he gets stuck on top of her. And she was very sweet and loving about it. So that's a nice example of him almost submitting, kind of, in a way. So as a teenager, like human teenagers, he wants more time with his friends. Obie has joined a puppy pack. They go off leash and hike in the mountains of Los Angeles, and he loves it. He will run to the window when his pack leader comes. I'll open the door and he just walks straight to the van, jumps right in, no problems. Like one of his favorite activities. It's made him such a great dog. He's able to listen better. He knows that's coming every week. So he's, he anticipates it, I think, but also he just really relishes it when it happens. And he comes home tired. He gets dropped off. Comes home tired, and he's got all the socialization, and he's a better dog when he's with the family. So, if he doesn't go on the pack hike, he gets whinier, he eats more socks, he's just a little bit more troublesome. So that's been really huge. So as you can see here, he's become a little more snuggly. He is on his own terms and he's cleaning himself. But sometimes if he's laying in bed with me and I cough or play a video too loudly, he'll run off the bed and go to his own little space. Another thing about Catahoulas is they are pack animals, and most dogs are, but these guys are bred to be in the pack. There's an amazing book by Dawn Abney, who is an expert on Catahoulas and breeding. And one of the things they did, way back when this breed was becoming more standardized breed, they would do this procedure called lining. And they would line up all the puppy Catahoulas and tell them to run from here to there. And the ones that first arrived and the ones that last arrived were actually, they killed them, sad to say. And the reason is they were breeding this breed to be in the pack, in the center with everybody. So if you own a Catahoula, you know exactly what that seems like, right? He wants to be with his pack, which is our family, all the time. He'll join other packs and become protective of them. For me, I have to work, and so he gets dropped off with his dad, And the minute he knows it's coming, he gets very sad, and he will, he'll go along with it. He knows what's coming. We've given him commands, so he knows what to expect. But I drop him off, I put him in the house, and almost immediately his little tail goes between his legs and he gets very sad. And it's just heartbreaking, but it just shows how connected he is to every member of our pack, our family. And he just loves us, and it's beautiful. He's a pack guy. So much so that he'll protect us at any cost. So it's important to remind him he's, not the alpha all the time. He's, the puppy. The humans come first and he comes next, and he's safe and protected. He prefers at this point in his life to be out and about with us, meaning if I need to go and run an errand, he does not like to be at home alone. If there's no one here, I take him with me, and then he stays and waits in the car. I give him a command, and he knows that I'm coming back soon. So that's his preference, and being home alone is the worst to him. Most dogs see this as punishment when they are left alone because they're pack animals. So that's been very apparent as he's become a teenager. So one of the last things, which if you have been around a Catahoula puppy, you absolutely know, their energy is endless. As he's become older, it's a lot more settled, I will say. Like, he doesn't need to run 10 miles in the morning anymore. He can just do a short hike, 30 minutes, do his bathroom business, and then come home and be okay. He does need to go out a couple more times in the day, but it's not as extreme as it was when he was a puppy. The thing about that is Catahoulas are working dogs. They don't know when to stop. They are bred to continue. They've got tireless, endless energy, more so than most breeds. I just found something on his little paw. So because he has endless energy, more than most breeds, they don't know when to take a break from things. So there are times where he's been injured and he's been so lethargic, but he's ready to go out when he goes out, to use the bathroom or something. He's like running around and doing crazy things. And recently he's had some yeast imbalance with his body, and he's been advised to just keep it chill, not go on his puppy pack walks because he just goes overboard. He can't control himself. So he is bred to continue and, help the pack or do the job until it could hurt him. So knowing that about him is really good. He cannot stop, as you can see here. So Catahoulas as teenagers, I think it's easier than when they were puppies. It only gets better. He's 3 now. It's been really fun, and he's still his social and vocal Catahoula self. Tons of energy, tons of love, so sweet, and a teenager. More Catahoula stuff to come. Please check out my other videos and subscribe. Thanks for watching.